What's up? I'm Ayla.
I'm Beth Ann.
And this is Let's Talk BL, a Boys Love podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. It is Sunday, Series Sunday, the day of the week where we talk all about one series and one series only, chock full of spoilers. So, go watch the series.
Yes, if you haven't seen Cherry Magic, the GMMTV TayNew vehicle, It's understandable because, of course, we had it and then we lost it and we were all very sad, but we only kind of lost it. So we're, in addition to talking about the show, going to talk through how to actually, access this because I feel like everybody, kind of knows, but I think it could be challenging if you've, never had to go through this process before.
Yeah, for sure. I was only recently introduced to the world of VPN last year, I guess.
I was I've been doing it since forever and a day, but I really did it during You're My Sky. Jude my Katong.
Okay. Oh, right, because the trending. That's also probably another thing to know is that when you're tweeting and you want to contribute to a tweet, you need for it to help Thailand.
If you want it to trend in Thailand, you have to be tweeting quote unquote from Thailand, and so you use a VPN to do so.
Yeah. And so that's helpful information to know. Although this series, I think it's so funny that even though it wasn't easily accessible internationally, it trended in the top something in the U.S. for the finale.
We all found our ways. And it's fine. You don't have to tell me what your way was if you didn't do it in the way that we suggest. Listen, love finds a way, okay?
It does.
Love finds a way.
And we all love TayNew.
Yes.
So it's 12 episodes. Fingers crossed that it gets released. GMMTV is pulling a lot of stuff to Viki, pulling it off of YouTube and putting it onto Viki. So fingers crossed we get it that way. And there are a lot of Japanese titles on Viki and Gaga Ulala, so it makes me think that that will happen eventually. I don't know what the logistics are around why exactly. Because a lot of times
licensing deals, it's all about contracts and licensing and things
a lot of times what'll happen with Cupid's Last Wish is they want the run to happen on certain platforms, and then once it's done its due, it'll come out to other forms. And that's
in the licensing deal, right? It's that was the deal that for Cupid's Last Wish they had with Disney Hotstar.
Yes.
Which was an exclusivity deal.
Right.
Yeah, for a certain amount of time.
Fun fact, we
once tried to license a show. This is why I know these things.
We were so passionate about a certain show that wasn't available internationally that we were should we try to license it?
Oh, and I tried. I did the work. I talked to a lawyer. I looked up all the stuff. I was how to do this? What are the
We were legit in conversation with the people at the
production company.
Yeah, on the production company, and then they put us in touch with wasn't it View?
Yeah.
Wasn't that where it was?
So we started with the director, then we moved on to the production company, and then the production company kicked us over to View, who had the original rights.
A lot of line group chats.
We were gonna sub-license from them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
it was a logistical nightmare. It didn't end up happening, but it's okay because it did end up coming out internationally.
And that is where it's important to know that these production companies' hands are so tied, pun intended, that even if GMMTV, because I saw a lot of conversation when it was happening, is that somebody was saying that even GMMTV didn't know because if you think about it, there's a lot of lost in translation where
especially between the Japanese market and literally everyone else.
Because you think if you're getting their production rights that releasing it would be the small potatoes of it.
As fans. And so of course GMMTV had their own licensing deal, but of course things get lost in translation, and GMMTV has a longer plan with Japanese content, and so they had to be very careful. And so again, I genuinely don't think that this was GMMTV's fault.
No, I don't
Just
either.
There have been multiple times where things like this have happened, with the ER show.
Oh, Triage.
With Triage, where that wasn't TV Thunder. That, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. And so I think that we as fans, it's really quick and easy for us to jump and be how dare you? But we really can't do that.
Specifically international fans, because you guys, these shows are not for us.
Not for us.
As much as that hurts to hear, your entitlement is so ridiculous when it's these shows are not for us, because honestly, the money isn't in the international, because as we have seen, like, yes, we've now had one US fan meeting, but like that wasn't well attended, and like there wasn't a lot happening. And yes, that was the fault of like the production company of the fan meeting, because this first fan meeting doing super well. Yes,
it's hard because you're like the first fan meeting.
I know,
like, we're not talking about the Zinunu fan meeting. We're talking about first Chalangra.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing.
And so like that's the thing, is that like, sorry guys, this stuff isn't for us. Like, we're consuming foreign content and foreign media, and so like if it only
created for like a different audience, that's created, it's created outside of our culture, and we're able to appreciate it, and we get to consume it, but like it's not at this moment made for us, right?
And they put English subtitles on the live broadcast, which has never been done. So like
it was on last year's.
No, somebody was like, this is the first time
you mean for
on
the show.
TV.
You mean for the show. I see,
For Cherry Magic, it was the first time they had put live or English subtitles on like like what was being broadcast on like the, I guess, the whatever the website is, the GMM TV website. Is it GMM?
Yeah.
25?
Listen, they're trying their best, okay?
Anyways.
So, the way that you watch this is it's on WeTV. It has subtitles. Watch it with a VPN.
Yeah.
It's really that easy. If you don't know how VPN works, honestly, Google it. It's really, really easy. All you do is download. I've only used my VPN on my computer once, and it was to watch an Atlas performance that wasn't available internationally.
And then literally like a day later, it was on YouTube.
But it was fine. I needed to watch it right then, and it worked. So you can do it on your computer. You get a VPN. You log in. There's usually like a big start button. You start the VPN. You choose which region you want to be in. When I was watching the Atlas thing, chose Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
When I am trying to watch Thai content, I choose Thailand. And then you do have to open a new browser if you're trying to like do it in a browser window. Or if you're doing it in the app, just close out the app and reopen it. Like if you're watching on your phone or iPad or whatever. And then you can access all the things.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for everything. Like, it's very hit or miss with, like, Netflix, for example. So you're not necessarily going to be able to get, like, Thai Netflix, which is unfortunate. But it'll work for WeTV. It'll work for iQIYI. It'll work for pretty much anything else you could want to make it work for.
Superb. Okay. This, of course, stars TayNew. We have Karen, played by Tay, and Achi, played by New. Which, damn, TayNew.
Okay.
They're so TayNew.
Synopsis time.
I love them.
I'm still regaining my voice. Thank you to everybody that stuck with us through this, like, drought of episodes, because I truly, like, could not speak earlier this week. Like, I literally, like, nothing was coming out of my mouth, and I still, which is probably a good thing in a lot of cases, but I still am not quite there, so excuse the sketchy synopsis voice, but I'll try my best. Okay. Achi is an ordinary employee at a stationery company. He's still single, still a virgin.
Nice.
When he turns 30, however, he's shocked to find he's developed the power to read people's minds when making physical contact. He attempts to avoid contact with anyone, but it gets worse when Achi accidentally reads the mind of Karan, the most handsome, perfect colleague. Yes. He learns that this good-natured, smiley guy is falling for him. Following this incident, he does his best to keep his distance in order to nip Karan's feelings in the bud.
Cute. That was fantastic.
It doesn't work. Spoiler doesn't work.
This series was such a joy.
So, Japanese adaptation. I liked it. Is this the first Japanese adaptation that we've seen out of GMM TV? I think so. So this starts the first of a long run. GMM TV bought a bunch of Japanese content.
Yeah.
I really like the way that they took this and kind of made it feel Thai. It didn't feel like I was supposed to believe that they were like in Japan, or that Thailand had somehow become more Japanese, right? Like they did, I feel like, kept the core of the story. 'Cause I love Cherry Magic. Like Cherry Magic is one of the few BLs that I watched before you did. Like, and that never happens.
Yeah.
So it's like a big deal, right? And I love Cherry Magic, the original, the Japanese version. And so I wasn't
sweet.
nervous because I don't get nervous with adaptations. I think they're their own thing. Like, you have to see them as separate.
Yeah.
But I did think that the GMMTV version did a really good job of keeping the core of the story. And in a lot of cases, like, scene for scene, word for word.
Mm-hmm.
While still making it feel so Thai. So, like, for example,
Its
when they
own and
talk about,
unique.
like, the birthdays, like, in, I think it's, like, the first or second episode.
Yeah.
It's a very Thai way to do the birthday, right? Like, they don't try to mimic, like, a Japanese birthday celebration. And so I thought that was a cool way to do this. That was cute.
There's also a good nod to the Japanese, right? Like, they're working for a Japanese company. Their boss is Japanese. You still felt like there was, like, a hint of the origin of Cherry Magic while making it so Thai. It was so Thai.
It was very Thai, which I thought was so cool. Like, if you're going to take something and adapt it to a new culture, I think it's really important to, like, make it your culture, right? Like, don't try to just reproduce the original culture because it's not going to feel authentic. I think that, like, that was a little bit of the problem with, like, Skins, for example. Skins was originally a British TV show, which I loved. I watched the British version. I was so obsessed with. And then MTV bought it, which was already going to be downhill. And it was terrible. It was terrible because it was, like, trying to be British in, like, such a way of, like, a party culture that teenagers in America just don't have in the same way that teenagers in Britain have. And so it was, like, it just didn't quite work versus, like, for example, The Office, right? Like, which is originally a British TV show that they made American. When they brought it to the American market, they made it very much like an American office and, like, American office culture. And that's what made it work. And so I think that's what works so well for Cherry Magic is they made it very Thai. And they're Thai people producing a Thai show with Thai actors. And so I think that's really was the key to making this one work.
And I liked that TayNew made these characters their own version of them. TayNew just are such good and specific actors that you still feel the essence of Karen and Ashi. Like, you still know who these characters are, the basis of them. So much so that there was some, like, drama on the internet around who these characters are, which we've talked about this before, is, like, when people feel a certain way about characters, it's because these actors are playing them in the way that they're supposed to be playing them sometimes.
Yeah.
And, like, people just don't like the characters. And so these characters are so specific in how they have to be. I mean, like, Tay is Karen, I feel like, for the most part.
Yeah, I remember seeing some conversation about, like, New looks uncomfortable.
He's supposed
like,
to be.
He's supposed to be
He's a freaking virgin at 30. Like, so many of those people are
Achi
weird
is
and
uncomfortable,
awkward.
right?
Yeah.
Like, he's a virgin. He's, like, having essentially, like, a gay awakening. He doesn't really know if he likes this man, but, like, imagine how you would feel, right? Okay, so, like, like, taking away any sort of, like, cultural layers of, like, if you, a person in America, Britain, Germany, right? Like, wherever, like, South America, Central America, all of our amazing listeners are, no matter, like, the cultural difference, if all of a sudden I touched you and I could hear you being like, oh my God, like, she's making my heart flutter, like, I would probably be like,
but not only that, the most perfect, wonderful, handsomest human you've ever seen in your life that everyone worships and that everyone thinks is, like, the most amazing thing. And you yourself are like, have never been loved. No one has ever looked at you that
like,
way.
Surely not. Like me. So you're processing that.
Yeah.
And you're processing, like, okay, what do I do? How do I act? I don't know if I like him back. Like, you are gonna be awkward no matter who you are. Like, New was playing the character well. I thought this casting was perfect because they're grown-ups, right? Tay and New are both over 30 years old.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be adults that are 30 and over 30, right? Like, I so much appreciated this casting. And I just thought, God, they were so perfect for this. Like, New just has such baby girl energy. Oh, my God. He gives Chris a run for his money.
He does. Yeah. I love this character for New because he plays such, like, diverse roles in what I've seen him in. And, like, thinking back to his character in The Warp Effect, he was such a, like, he was like a frat bro kind of through that whole series. Like, even as an adult, he kind of gave that energy. Whereas, yes, this was big baby girl energy.
Yeah.
And so it was fun to see him play this character. These characters were fun. It was also fun to see Tay play this character because they, like, I feel like Tay himself he's a very confident person, but he's also everyone's best friend, where it was interesting to see him play the dynamic of a character who is like so like idolized, but
so
also
popular,
like
he's,
very
feared.
insecure.
Yeah.
Like he played the nuance of this character so interestingly because like he was like, I'm in love with this person, but like I kind of can't be because I don't want that pressure for him because everyone puts me on such a pedestal. And like just like watching him grapple with this, where you're like, when you see a person like this, and we've all known people like this where it's like they're like, oh no, I'm not that great, and you're like,
that pretty.
Yeah, and like
you're like, okay, supermodel problem.
Yeah, but like I feel like Tay approached this character in such a way that was like, he never wants pity for who he is. He's like, I just need you to kind of understand that like I don't feel this way about myself,
where I'm coming from. Yeah, I just like understand where I'm coming from.
And also like the layer of I'm in love with this boy who is a boy, right? Like
man, that's him.
Yeah, I'm sorry, a man. And like you see him grappling with that too, right? Like when he goes home to like tell his family, like that dynamic within his family, because that's even more important a lot of times in these things. You know, when you meet someone in real life and then you like meet their family, you're like, oh, so much of who you are makes sense within the context of your family. Because outside of your family, outside of his family, Karen again everyone's like, oh my God, he's so perfect. And then you're like, well, why would he be so insecure? And then when you place him within that family dynamic, you're like, oh, this is why, because he's like trying to become who his mom and who his parents want him to be. And he's like trying to reach that level, and he's not reached that level, or he doesn't think he's reached that level, and he really has. And like you realize like, oh, that's where his insecurity comes from. And it's so like, my God, they made these characters so dynamic in the most understandable way.
Yeah, another little like nuance that I loved from Tay in this character specifically is, and this was such like a small thing that so full disclosure, I've rewatched this.
Nice.
It was the way that he held his body.
Ooh.
Like his posture and his stance and the way that he moved his body was very like cut on. Like it was very, very like in character, because if you watch Tay, I watch a lot of Tay content, which spoiler, by the way, if you're listening, we did interview TayNew. That interview will be coming out later this month. It is the season finale.
That was a whole experience.
And so like I mentioned to Tay, I was like, yeah, I watch you even when there are no subtitles. Like I watch you on Live House, I watch you on School Rangers, I watch you anytime that like you are doing something, because I just like Tay's energy. I like the way he speaks, which is crazy, I know. And like we had a fun little joke about that. But so like, if you are familiar with Tay and you just like watch him a lot, you can tell the difference, right? Like, so I could see that like the way he was holding his body was very much a like, I'm trying to be perfect, right? It was almost like how Karan would be in his head about like, in the back of his head, like, I need to be perfect. I am this idolized person. I have this like image that I owe to
how
other
do I
people.
make it better for these other people? Yeah.
And so like it's even in the way that he like stands, and there's a scene, I want to say it's in like episode 4 or 5, where he's like bending over the desk, like Achi is working and he like bends over and literally he's like at a perfect 45-degree angle, like his like nothing is hunched. And I was just like, first of all, that's really impressive. And second of all, like, that's not how Tay would normally stand. That's not how a person would normally stand. Like, that's how somebody who's trying very hard to, like, live up to an image would stand. And so I thought that it was, like, a very cool nuance that, like, it was even in his physicality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to touch on the NC scene that we got from them, because obviously, like, Dark Blue Kiss was we talked about this where it was like a lot of like
the implication.
Yeah. There was some kissing, but then there was like
there's a lot of kissing.
The pan away.
DBK and Kiss Me Again are like the epitome of like I'll kiss you till you drop.
Yeah. Because in DBK they like don't they start the series with that underwater kiss? Or like they disappear. I don't think you see it.
Right. Yeah.
But in this, we got like full on TayNew Karen Achi make out.
In your heart, it's TayNew.
TayNew real. But you see, and to that whole like how Karen holds himself and how he's like uncomfortable, even like in his body. I thought that the physicality of the intimacy you could tell he was relaxing. You could tell he was comfortable because he kind of puts his entire body on Achi in like the most like comfortable way. And the way that they like interact intimately was really interesting to watch because like you see them connect in such a way that's like comfortable. Karen has finally found his comfort.
Yeah.
And it's really, really sweet to watch that. I mean, listen, GMMTV can do a rooftop scene.
Always.
And that first kiss that we get from Karen and Achi on that rooftop was just like, it was just so sweet. And like, again, the way that they have to play these characters, because if you have to remember that Achi is a virgin, and I'm pretty sure he's never kissed a person before.
Yeah, I think the implication is like he's not just that he's never
been
sex,
intimate.
It's that he's never like kissed someone, hugged someone, right?
Because
like,
doesn't he say I've never been in love before?
Yeah.
And
although you don't have to be in love to kiss someone.
No, and so well, I mean, I think in like T drama
the idea
world,
of it. Yeah, sure.
So many of these people are like, I've never even looked at a man before.
I've never even looked at another human. I go through life with face blindness. Yeah. Wait, isn't that a plot point? What is that a plot point in?
Yeah.
What? Oh, it's in the Do. The Do. It's a straight drama. It's a GMMTV straight drama.
Faceless Beauty?
Yeah, maybe?
I think it must be Faceless Beauty. That would make sense.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a plot point in an actual show of like...
Because it was a K-drama.
Oh, yeah.
It's a K-drama, and then Thailand adapted it for something.
It was GMMTV. Because Do was in it. I just don't remember the girl he was in it with, but
yeah. Or maybe it's not Faceless. Anyways, tell us what it is.
Yeah, if you know.
Our audience knows.
Yeah.
I know. I listen to a lot of podcasts too, and when people are like, I don't know this thing, I'm like, I do, and it's so frustrating sometimes. Anyways, but so yeah, I think the way that you have to play, and I think about this so often, is that when people like there's so much pressure put on like BL kisses a lot of times, especially because of where we've gotten in BL world, where it's like no longer just like barely smushing lips together. We're getting full on kisses, but that first kiss has to portray like I've never kissed this person before, and even more in this series, it has to portray I've never even kissed another human before. But they did it in such a way where like you can tell that Achi trusts Karen to be like, oh God, I'm kissing an idol, but I also know how he feels about me. I mean, just like the layers that you have to think about in this series and the way that they play these characters, it really is impressive.
Yeah, I feel like the rooftop scenes have really... I feel like this is... If rooftop scenes were a heads and tails, I feel like the Bad Buddy rooftop scene, when they kiss... It was the last scene they shot, but it was the first kiss scene in the show. Would be heads and this would be tails, right? Where it's like almost the same thing, but like the emotion is so different. And opposite, and like the setting, like it's the same but different. I feel like it's like Bad Buddy and this are like a heads and tails of the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. The same with Last Twilight. So many of P-Off's rooftop scenes are like the emotion is like anxiety or like like sadness to them, whereas this is like joy in the start of something, and the P-Off rooftop scenes are like coming from like more like sadness.
I mean, in my opinion, JoJo killed the rooftop scene and Never Let Me Go. I really love that when he was like, I'll erase your first kiss with Ben. I'm sorry. This is not a Never Let Me Go podcast, but like in my heart it is.
Yeah. Even JoJo gives like it's not sadness. It's more of like
with JoJo, it's less like emotionally attached and more like the beginning of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Never Let Me Go. Now all I can think about. I
feel like Pon Poon could have played these characters really well.
Yeah, in like 10 years they could do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go rewatch Never Let Me Go now. I just feel in my heart. I was like, yeah, I need to. For a second, I was like, should I just watch a bunch of edits? Should I watch some like Nung Palm edits? And I was like, no. We're gonna rewatch the whole
I just
show
started
now.
rewatching Never Let Me Go because it's on Viki now. Because I like the subtitles.
This show. I don't know why or how this happened to me, but like truly, like
watching Pon Poon and these characters. I think that's what it is. Is like everyone has. Especially for GMMTV, everyone has their like characters that they really liked their couple playing.
This just like
this
hit for me
really well.
I don't know. Like I remember the first time I watched because it was funny with Never Let Me Go. You were like, I just don't believe who it is. I don't know this, and I was like hooked from minute
once
one.
they got to the island. I liked it a lot better.
Oh, see, I was so in it from the start. Anyways, Cherry Magic. Sorry.
Okay, so. We've talked a lot about...
Okay, SingJan.
Yes. We finally got SingJan.
Finally. Okay, Sings was adorable in this character.
Yeah.
This was such a good character for Sings, I feel like, because I think that his face works really well for this character. Not his real-life personality. His real-life personality is, like, kind of harsh.
A cool boy?
No, I wouldn't say
I don't think I've ever really paid attention to who he is in person.
I wouldn't say that he's like, because I would characterize like Nanon as like a cool boy.
Yeah.
That's not Sings. Sings is like a little more like, maybe like rowdy is the right word. Right? Like rowdy, harsh, like loud, like he'll jump up and down, like he curses. He's like harsh, right? And that's why he's a good match for Jan in real life. And I think that's why people ship them because Jan is very rowdy and she's very like like they
playful.
Like snip at each other, right? And it's a very quick back and forth. Like it's a very, very fast back and forth, and they'll be like yelling at each other. Yeah. And so this character for Sings is not who Sings is in real life, but it's who his face tells you he should be. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
He's such a sweet boy in this series because he's like pining after this girl the whole time, and it's just so cute because she like very much puts him in his place. And I love this dynamic of these characters because she very much is her own person, right? We get the establishment of who she is in that early scene of like her meeting up with her running into her ex-boyfriend, which that scene, I mean, Papong, like that man can play everything and anything. And so I also really love Bacon. And so I really appreciated that whole dynamic of like when he's telling her like, you shouldn't eat that bacon. And she's like, I'm gonna eat this bacon. I was like, preach, girl. I just thought it was it's so silly, but it's so much of like it reminds me of the eggs in Runaway Bride, that there's that relationship that you have with that person where there's this thing that you really like, or there's this thing that you don't know how you like, right? Like in Runaway Bride where she's
she has her eggs different with every man. Okay.
Right.
I was like, what are you talking? Because I haven't watched that movie since I was like, I don't know, maybe 9.
Well, in the final scene is her with like a kitchen full of eggs trying to figure out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so that's what it is. It's like,
because she just eats the eggs how the man eats them, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's that thing that you compromise for the person you're in the relationship with. And she realized now that she was out, she didn't have to compromise that anymore. And she was like, I like my bacon, and if I have to be single to eat my bacon, I will. And that's
my girl risk it all for the pig.
It's so cute. And then
I mean, that's actually like big so Jan good. Energy. Honestly, I feel
it's true.
One of my favorite Jan moments is she during Project Alpha. I think it was during Project Alpha. Yeah, okay.
It's the special episode where all the GM where They do the performance
yes. Okay. So during Project Alpha, they did a special episode where like the Project Alpha contestants had to go perform for a bunch of GMMTV like established actors, right?
Pressure.
And they had like basically everyone. It was great.
All of Sizzy was there.
And Jan was there. And so like they're all performing or whatever, and all of these like artists are supposed to be giving them like advice, right?
Do they perform with them?
No, they perform for them.
No, I know that.
And they're supposed to make them like remember their names.
Right.
They never perform together.
Okay.
Not in that episode at all. Ever really. Like Lycan ended up performing with Sizzy once they like debuted, but not during that episode. But so basically all the GMMTV established artists are supposed to be giving these like Project Alpha contestants
like advice.
Yeah. And Jan was like her advice to them was like, if you get on stage and you mess up and you forget, it doesn't matter. She's like, one time I got on stage and I went out there and she had like completely messed up the choreo. She just like got it completely wrong. And she was like, and you know what I said? I said to myself, it's okay, I'm pretty.
That's how I want to live my life.
Yes, bitch. Like, I want that on a t-shirt. Like, literally every now and then I'll get like upset about something. I'm also a dancer now. And like sometimes I do get down on myself, but sometimes I'll mess something up and then I'll just like flip my hair and I'll be like, it's okay, I'm pretty. I don't feel that way really, but it's like a good like hype moment, right? It's like, you know, they tell you to like look in the mirror and like give yourself affirmations. I feel like that's a good like mirror affirmation of like fake it till you make it, right? Even if you don't believe it, it's okay, I'm pretty.
I feel like I've heard that a lot of like, yeah, if you look like you're having fun, like if your face doesn't betray you, that's why they say like you have to pay attention to your face, especially when you're doing something physical, because if you look uncomfortable or if you look
like you're struggling,
like
or
people will
notice.
Out. Yeah.
There are a lot of videos of me dancing and so to give context, I train dancing like literally 6 days a week.
Just for fun.
And there are a lot of videos of me dancing where I look stressed out. Like you can see me and I'm going through the whole choreo and I'm doing the whole thing, but like you can see on my face that I'm stressed. There's only one class that I take really where I just like have never once felt stressed out in those classes. But yeah, so one of my favorite dance teachers, what she always says is she's like, number one, it doesn't matter what you do in the middle. Hit the first move and get to the last move.
Yeah.
No matter what you have to do in the middle, as long as you don't stop moving. When you stop moving, that's when people know, right? But like she always says, she's like, nobody but the people in this room know this choreo.
Right.
So if you go show this video to someone, they're gonna be like, work, right? Like they're not gonna know. And she was like, second, don't let your face betray you.
Right.
Like, if you make a face like, oh, shit, I messed that up.
People know.
People will know. You will feel bad. You'll throw yourself off. Yeah. Like, everything will not be right. So, like, it's a fake it till you make it. It's okay, I'm pretty.
It's true. Yeah, I know. That energy is how I want to live my life.
So, like, it's okay, I'm pretty. It's okay. I'll take the bacon.
Yeah. So I
have a very like not appropriate for this podcast story that's like similar energy. I'll tell it to you later.
Yeah. So I liked the way that they like so slowly developed this relationship. I love the dynamic of how Rock had to really pine after this girl.
Oh, he had to love her so much. It's so cute.
Truly did. But then at the end where she helps him kind of figure out his own thing, right, where he wanted to be an idol and like it didn't work out, or a band boy, I can't remember, and then you get that like sweet little ending of like he's supporting his friend doing his thing, but he's figured out how to do his thing in the context of like his life now. It was very cute. Yeah. Okay, which leads us to the like other side couple, which
Junior and Mark.
I mean,
okay, I'm obsessed with Junior. I had no idea who Junior was before this show. I didn't know Junior existed. I love him.
I want to know. I did not look this up. I'm so curious as to what Junior has been in before.
I genuinely have no idea. I watched pretty much all the promotions for this show. So like the one I remember in particular is the School Rangers episode. Yeah. Partially because I had to watch that for Thai class. Yeah. So I really remember it because they were playing like word games, and so I had to like do some work around that. But I love Junior's personality.
He was in Now Boy.
Oh, is this his first GMMTV production?
He's gonna be in My Golden Blood.
Yes. Oh my god. Everything's coming up Ayla today.
No, he was in Midnight Museum.
I watched that. I don't remember him.
He's been in so much. He was in I Hate You, I Love You. Was that a GMMTV?
I didn't watch that.
No. Oh, no, that was in Nadal. That had Jailer and Obe.
I do love Obe. Once I saw Obe at Siam Center, and I lost my mind. He was walking so fast. I didn't get to say anything to him, but I was like, that was Obe. That was Obe. I, like, didn't know what to do about it. I, like, really panicked.
There's a drama called The Golden Silkworm.
Interesting. Anyways, I love Junior and Mark. I think that Mark is a really good actor. I think that Junior is an even better actor for making Mark interesting. I said what I said.
I mean,
I said what I said. Listen, it's okay. I'm pretty. I like.
All I thought was Mark. I mean, there was no saving Mech at GMMTV, but Mark technically got Mech fired from GMMTV.
Honestly, Mech Mech should win an award for what he tried to do with Mark. This boy, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
He's cute, I guess.
Listen.
Mark stands don't come for us.
He's not to my taste.
But yeah, I mean,
like as an actor, as in personality.
I mean, listen, he actually was a great fit for an idol. Because I feel like there are those like cute boys that are like, my personality is I'm cute. Because we've met some of those boys.
I describe those boys as wet ham sandwich, and girls. This happens to girls too. Actually, the first time I ever coined the phrase wet ham sandwich was for a woman I met. A woman. Okay, I call these people wet ham sandwiches, and my reasoning is that they have always been, and this isn't even their fault. And so on some level, it's like, I feel guilty for feeling this way and for thinking this way, and I know that like it's work I need to do on myself, but like
it's work I need to do on myself.
No, I'm being serious.
It's just such a funny like I know that I'm judgmental, but like I'm working on it.
I am.
I love that. I mean, listen, we're all judgmental.
But so like basically I think what happens is like people get praised so much for their looks and their beauty and their aesthetic.
Especially like people who have been this way their whole life.
Right, that's what I mean. Yeah. It's like people that never had that sort of like awkward teen fit, that just were always like effervescent and beautiful and like flowed through life. Unfortunately, society's reaction to that is to praise them for their beauty, not for like how smart they are or how funny they are or how interesting they are or how witty they are, right? Like we tend to praise people for their beauty before we praise them for their other attributes. And so because of that, they almost don't I think because my older sister is like this. She's beautiful and has always been beautiful. Like my whole life, all of our whole lives, like she has just like walked through life like beautiful, just like gorgeous girl. And she very much like almost hides her personality and hides her like her wit and her interest because she feels like, oh, people are just gonna tell me I'm pretty anyways. You know what I mean? And so like I think that's what happens. And so because of that, publicly they then kind of become this like wet ham sandwich. Like,
they have no personality.
Yeah. They do. Lord. It's just like hidden away because they just expect people to be like, oh my God, but you're so beautiful. Oh my God, but you're so cute. Oh my God, but you're so right. And to like praise this outward thing that has nothing to do with really like who they are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of that to say, this character of Mark's character, Jinta and Min. Min was definitely like blah. Because Jinta was just like so cute and just like fun and like the dynamic. Because like that's the thing about TayNew, right? Is like Tay could very much squash who like the new of it all. But New is such an interesting and dynamic person that he shines in a very different way. Whereas, when you put somebody next to someone who's like fun and dynamic and cute and like all these things, like you have to hold your own in a different way. And that's the struggle I think that Min would anybody who played a Min character to a Jinta character would come across, because like in the original Cherry Magic, thinking about those characters, the boy who played the idol was like cute and funny and like was like a lot more, I think, dynamic.
He was like bubbly, I think, is
Yeah.
how I would describe it in the Japanese version. Yeah.
Because in this version, like Genta is very like, he's like dorky.
Yeah.
And so like you need someone to play, like a bubbly, outgoing, and Mark doesn't feel like an outgoing person, even like in character form. He played this like, woe is me, I'm a struggling idol. He
wasn't to my taste in this. He wasn't to my taste in Sky in Your Heart. Sky in Your Heart.
Yeah. But man, freaking Junior. He was so cute.
Oh my god.
The way he played, the comedy that he played was so fun. Like truly his like slapstick running around. I mean, like we've all been there for like our idol boy.
I literally do that sometimes for like, there are a few dance teachers that I really admire. Yeah. And like sometimes they'll walk in. I'll be like in a different dance class and they'll walk in because they like work at the same studio, right?
You like want to go hide behind the thing.
And I like literally like have like a panic. This happens to me with two particular like
trip over your own
particular
feet.
teachers at like my main studio I go to, and like sometimes they'll walk in at the end of class and I'm like
your body forgets how to move.
Yeah, I'm like yeah. So listen, this happens to me with like real life people I know.
Yeah.
Like right, like so I get it. Another thing I was thinking of is, you know who I think, I love Junior. I am obsessed with Junior, but I think it would have been really fun to watch Pepper play this character.
Yeah, I agree.
I would have just loved to see it.
Pepper is a great like side character actor that makes that character shine.
After seeing him in Windmill, Perth Shimon.
Oh, Dangerous Romance.
Thank you. I was like, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can see it in my head. After seeing him, the way he played that character in Dangerous Romance, I was like, I feel like, and Star in My Mind. Star in My Mind.
Yeah.
I just really would have liked to see him play. I think he could have done it. I think it would have been funny.
That would have been cute. Also, the best part of this storyline, other than Junior, was that we got our Project Alpha boys.
Our babies.
Y'all, I love Time. I love Time.
You loved Time
so much
when the show was going on. So did I, but you like really loved Time.
I like really love Time.
Yeah.
And so it was so fun. We got Time and Ashi and Boss.
Yes.
In this little quatch.
And shout out GMMTV for like bringing the boys that didn't get contracts in for like a fun cameo in like a big show.
I was thinking about this. I want to know how this got cast. Did they just handpick them, or did
they get to cast for it?
Right, because Time was in the finale, the semifinal.
Good question. Yeah, I do wonder.
But the other two were not, I don't believe.
I do wonder how they. Yeah.
Right? I'm so curious as to how these boys got cast. Can we have them on the series on the podcast?
Show, yeah.
I need the like boy band.
Overall, this was such a good show. I really like the way they did it. So our two questions are: would you rewatch it? Yeah. I cheated because I've already rewatched it, but would you rewatch it?
Immediately.
And would you recommend this to a first timer?
I would. I feel like, I mean, you can't go wrong with TayNew.
Also, I think a bonus about recommending this to a first timer is if they really, really love it, they can go watch the Japanese version, right? Like the story doesn't have to end for them. They can watch like another telling of it.
I also love that this version expanded on the Japanese one.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. Okay. Little reminders. Don't forget, TayNew will be on the podcast for the season finale coming in a few weeks. Very exciting.
Y'all,
we'll have some episodes in between, so don't worry.
Yes.
Second reminder, as we talked about earlier, first Chalong-Relat will be coming to America. He has a fan meeting in New York City and in Dallas. New York City is sold out, but Texas, hello. I can't believe that, like, of the places that have gotten fan meetings, Texas is now going to be one of the places.
That's really cool.
That's really incredible. So he will be here in April. Go buy your tickets.
Yes.
Link to buy tickets is in the bio. Or not our bio. It's not in our bio. It's in the description of this episode. This has been Let's Talk BL. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and keep up with all things Let's Talk BL at Let's Talk BL.